Thank you for your insight and experience and the different encounters you had as you share with us and the whole idea of pride. I've been writing, as usual, my little notes, and there are a few things that you say that I need to just expand a little on. And you use a very good analogy when you said that two of us up here, but only one is in charge. And the others must go. You know, we live in a world where we have what we call leadership. And leadership is important, I think, for all of us. We need someone to lead and to show the direction and to be there for us in front. So Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. The problem is that not everyone in our society that we think are good leaders ended up being good leaders. And one of the things I find with persons who take the leadership role, they very often have this statement that they will say when there is a challenge, and they will say, the buck stop here. And the buck stop here means that, well, I am the bully, and you can't go further than the bully. So I will deal with you. And sometimes we forget that when God calls us, whether we believe it or not, every person has believed, God is calling for leadership, but God is calling you to mold yourself according to His pattern. And when we think that we are the final judge, we sometimes override our power and think that we are even better than God in our judgment. And that is exactly what pride is. We very often, when we have authority, think that we are better than the others and that we preside over them, so we must look down and look over and dominate and control those whom we look on. And we forget that, you see, leadership for you is for a time. Everything we undertake is for a time. You said you used to drive the minibus, the vans? Yes, you used to drive vans, right? You used to drive the taxi? Right. You know, I used to see this lady driving a taxi. I used to say, wait, who is this white lady driving a taxi? How is she making it with all the others? And especially she's a woman. But she had to be a very special person. I used to say that when I see you, because I used to see you driving and see you in the park and so on. And I never thought that through you I would have seen you and hear you share your word. But
She wanted to say something.
It was to help children on the streets.
uh-huh.
So I was gifted a van, and I put it on the road, and that's how I learned about shooting the children on the road.
What? Oh, wonderful. I didn't even know that. Wonderful. You know, so here is an example of how you can see pride. Look at it, not trying to make a comparison, but just to look at the parallel here with drivers. Here is a woman who is called to do something. And as she's been called, she responded to the call, and right away, God started putting things in place for her. She was able to get a van, and she was able to do the things what others would not have done. There are other people who own taxis. There are other people who own buses, own cars. But you think they will stop to give you a ride? You can't come and sit down in somebody's car. They don't want you to sit down in their car. When they pass you on the road, they feel, hey, big. A friend of mine, he was a policeman, and I understood what it means when somebody full of pride. I understood by looking at this fella. I had to talk with him, but the talk that I had with him didn't do anything to him, really. And he bought one of these big Jeep, the full-wheel drive or whatever. But it's one of these, I'm not too keen about cars and the names and all of that, right? So I am dummy with that because I don't really study those things. If I see something I like it, I don't buy something because it's a brand. I buy something because I like it. And then I realize it's a brand, right? So I don't study that. That's why you wouldn't see me wearing clothes with things marked on it, because I don't carry nobody's brand. But I said to him, why do you always act that way when you meet people when you're driving? You see somebody that is his friend, and he's pushing up himself and, very proud, very proud. The things we have, a vehicle. A vehicle is only a vehicle, right? Boom, so the vehicle gone. Catch a fire, mash up, accident, whatever. So we make ourselves pride by what we have, because we are a leader, we think that we are in control, everything done, stay here with us because we are the bosses. And that is what pride really is. Pride is saying that, God, I am better than you. I am exalted above you. God, you are beneath me. And that is the rebellion. And that is what the Catholic Church, I wrote it down just now. I had to look for them before, because sometimes my memory don't go, so I had to write them down. The Catholic Church speaks of 7 deadly sins. And the first one is pride. And we speak of greed or covetousness, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, sloth. And Brother Lawrence speaks about different kind of pride. And he is right, because you can see pride operating in different ways in different persons. So the Catholic Church named pride as the first sin, deadly sin. And you know why? Because from pride comes all the other deadly sin. It is from pride that we start get greedy. We want to take everything for ourselves. We are in charge. We want this, and so on. It is from pride we become lustful. Whatever we see, whether it's a man or a woman, a thing, we want to gravitate. Or envy, that nobody can be better than me, and if anybody is better than me, I'll bring them down. Gluttony. I think gluttony is one of the big sins of this society. You know that, right? I say gluttony as one of the biggest sins of this society. People just like eating. Nothing is wrong about eating, but to see how they eat. How they eat. And that is why that eating and how people look reflect the society and how the society is really. Because people getting fat and fatter, both men and women. And because they're eating more and more. And guess what? People getting more health issues, they're getting more sick, and they're dying quickly. Not because they are fat, but because they are gluttons, eating more than really is required of the body, and therefore eating what really should be consumed by others who don't have. So a society that keep feeding itself and not feeding the least and those who are hungry among us is a society that is doomed to death. Death death by gluttony. So we have that, and we have sloth. We have wrath, is really hatred, and then the last one is sloth. Sloth, right? Sloth. Laziness. The mothers in this church, some of you, right? Some of you are responsible for, when I say you, I don't mean you only here, right? I mean, yes, generally, are responsible for that deadly sin called sloth. Wait, say that. Sloth. Yes, slothfulness, right? Mothers complain that they give their children all the education and they don't want to work. They have all the skills and they don't want to work. They're just lazy. They don't know why this child is so lazy, why the child don't want to go out and work and so on. All the child wants to do is sleep. Big man, all he wants to do is to sleep all day. Who do you think is responsible for that? The mother is responsible for that. Let me tell you this. It will be easier for you to take a bucket of water and throw it on him and put the bed to dry. Right? For him to get out of that bed. Than for you to just plain and spending years and years bawling at him why he ain't go, you looking for job for him and he ain't taking it on. And if he get a job, he ain't like the job. The child don't like this job don't suit him, he and everybody getting away and so on. And that is how so pride leads to all these sins, and it is causing destruction to us and to our society. Brother Lawrence mentioned the very important thing, where it is. He said, hell is not created. Hell was never created for us. That's a strong statement, you know. We think that hell is for us. Hell was never created for us. In fact, the devil was created long before us. All right? The devil was a created being. He was spiritual being created, and he was up there. Yeah, he was Lucifer. He was the angel of light. He was everything up there with the Trinity. And so he said hell only came about when he was cast down. And do not say that we're in hell already here on earth, because hell is worse than that. Hell is not what we experience on earth. Yes, we may experience some hellish things, but we are far from what it means by condemning ourselves to eternal death. Hell is worse than what we experience here among ourselves. So Satan was created and he rebelled against God. He was created for God, rebelled against God, rebelled against what is in heaven, and therefore he was cast down. He was cast out. And casting down don't mean he was cast down on the earth. All right? He was cast down to the realm to which he belonged. And we know that. And we become agent of Satan. Powerful. I just taken those little nuggets, right? We become agent of Satan by participating with him by our pride. He is a leader of pride, and we become children of pride. We're proud. We're better. We are better than others. And another thing that he said is that we can choose. So Satan made a choice, and there is nothing else he can do about it. He chose, and he is gone. He chose to be away from God, and he is away from God. But we have the opportunity through Christ to turn to the Lord and to ask Him to help us to break that kind of stubbornness we have in us, that we feel that we are better or greater, stronger than anyone else. I will just, let me just stop this.